Alrighty, welcome back to Big Motor Small Blade. It's been a couple weeks. I've been lazy and busy. But anyway, we're here, of course, to talk about one and only Shane Van Gisbergen, who went back to back and has won at Chicago and Mexico, but back to back at Chicago and Sonoma. And yeah, let's get into it. Part of the reason I didn't get to this sooner was A, like I said, I've been relatively busy, but B, I didn't really get to watch much of the Chicago weekend. I was keeping up with it as much as I could, but I was quite busy that weekend in Pennsylvania for PA Speed Week for sprint car racing. And but yeah, Shane obviously swept the weekend there. Excuse me. But yeah, got it. There was a little bit of controversy during the Xfinity race for the way he raced Connor Zilisch. I don't know. I guess I can see the argument for it, but in pretty much every other series, that would be he's got him. To me, I think Connor probably should have figured that he didn't have him by that point. But, I mean, ultimately, no harm, no foul. Connor still finished second, and Shane obviously won the race. So nothing really came of it. I wouldn't say that's too big of a deal. Obviously, there's the aspect to it that Shane is a Cup Series driver now, and Connor is an Xfinity Series driver, and that they're teammates. But I don't know. Shane's there to win the race, and I don't really see a big issue with it. But for the Cup race, I was kind of in and out on this one a lot, and I haven't really gotten to go back and watch a bunch of it. I looked up the race stats here a little bit ago. Shane, I do recall Michael McDowell looking like he was close to as good as Shane. I mean, he was leading, but obviously we all know Shane Van Gisbergen does not really drive 100%, especially in the first two stages of a NASCAR race. Well, typically, I guess we'll get into that. Well, I say that. No. We'll circle back around to that. But he's never had an issue letting guys just kind of hang out in front of him for a little while. And every time I had it on in this section of the race, it seemed like McDowell wasn't driving away, which led me to believe that was still the case. Obviously, nothing, and this is not me to say anything poor about Michael McDowell. He is a good road course racer in his own right, and he's a good driver. He's kind of a dingus, if I'm going to be completely honest. A lot of times he throws away top 5 results because I was going for the win, and eventually all that adds up, and you probably could have made the playoffs on points, but you didn't. So I don't know, whatever. That's a whole other thing about Michael McDowell. But yeah, anyway, so he had, I really only bring that up because he had his own sort of mechanical issues in this race. I don't know. It says he was running, but he was 20 some laps down. So yeah, he had a mechanical issue and they did get it fixed, but I didn't really see a whole lot. I turned it back on and Shane was leading, and I didn't prep a lot for this because I'm mostly going to talk about Sonoma and then all the other backlash and stuff, but because Chicago was over a week ago by now. But yeah, Shane held off Ty Gibbs. Not that I'm terribly surprised, though Ty Gibbs has shown to be a solid road racer for NASCAR standards, at least. He did win in his first career start at the Daytona road course in the Xfinity Series, a race I was at, which was pretty cool to be at, to be honest. Actually, yeah, So I've been at that, and I was at Shane's too. So yeah, I got a little bit of track record, I guess. But yeah, so anyway, Shane swept the weekend in Chicago, and we move on to the Xfinity race at Sonoma this past Saturday. Shane he got beat by Connor. Now he was beat is a strong word. He did not win, so he got beat. If you ain't first, you're last. We're in NASCAR country now, but he was beating the back bumper off of the 88 car for the last several laps. I think he played nice a bit. I say beating his back bumper off. He definitely could have hit him harder, and I don't think he should have. I think that's the proper way to, as a Cup driver driving an Xfinity, I think that's the proper way to race your Xfinity regular teammate. But giving a little contact, I don't see any issue with. Clearly, Shane has no issue giving a little contact. Obviously, we've seen him give a lot more contact if your name is Austin Hill, but he's not going to do that to Connor Zilic unless Connor does something shitty to him, which he hasn't. And yeah, I don't know. Don't really think there was a whole lot else he could have done there other than crash him. And I'm glad we didn't see that. That would have been its own kerfuffle, which I'm glad we didn't see. But that moves us into Sunday, and Shane was on the pole. Again, he was on the pole for all four of these races, actually. So, shock to no one. The only thing I'm shocked by at this point is I'm mildly surprised he wasn't on the pole for Chicago the first year he ran. I say that. We were starting to think he was going to win it, and when he didn't win it, it was, I don't know, it was surprising, especially since Denny Hamlin did. But yeah, now that he's gotten comfortable with the car, it's clear that barring a car malfunction, I do not think anyone is going to beat him for pole at this point. It could happen. Obviously, we've seen him make a mistake at Watkins Glen already. I say already. Out of the 7-8 road course races he's run, he's made a single mistake that actually cost him anything. So I don't know. If you're betting, I would go ahead and place bets on him winning the pole at Watkins Glen and the Roval. He's already got a Roval pole, so that's not a shock either. But yeah, this one from top to bottom was a complete ass whooping. Shane scored all but 1 point. The only guy they mentioned on the broadcast, I don't know how it is over down under, but on the broadcast they mentioned Larson did it. He won both stages and the race at Sonoma in 21, but that was obviously the old car, and Hendrick Motorsports had a significantly better car back then, and actually everything was better back then, let's be completely honest. As far as NASCAR racing goes, in my opinion at least, everything was better back then, and if you had a better car, you could drive through the field, and Larson surely did drive through the field on multiple occasions on that day. But as good as Shane was today, if that had been the situation where he was, taking stage points and not pitting and whatever, then I don't know how he would have done. Obviously, he would have been stuck in the hornet's nest, which, as you saw, if you watched the race, it turned into a mess at the end. So that's usually the biggest issue, doing that in a Cup race. But he was pitting before he was flipping the stages, and on the first one, still finished second because he was that far ahead. And on the second set, at the end of the second stage, he actually passed Larson for the win of the stage, who, after pitting, Larson stayed out, and then Shane still passed him and got by him. So, yeah, I don't know. It was kind of at that point where it was just like, yeah, unless the car breaks, which we've seen before. It broke at Coda last year or something. It broke another time too. I can't really remember. But yeah, unless the pit crew has a terrible stop or the car breaks, he is going to win this race. And he did, to the tune of 97 laps led, and surviving 4 cautions in the final stage, I believe. Which usually the law of averages for a NASCAR race, if you haven't watched a ton of them, the law of averages states you are going to get, slammed in the ass at some point on one of these restarts, and you're going to end up in the grass or off the track somehow. And it just didn't happen. Shane was getting good enough restarts. It was weird. It didn't feel like they were great, but I think possibly he didn't want to get too good of a restart and let the 19 get to the inside before the second corner. I don't know exactly how they number their corners. Sometimes they number them weird, but I think maybe that's what he was doing, and he did not want the 19 behind him entering one of those corners. Because I think if the 19 had entered the corner right behind him, I think he probably would have used him up a little bit. Not to say that Chase Briscoe's dirty or anything, but Chase definitely has not got a problem with doing it. And I mean, is what it is. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, perfect, absolutely perfect. I think this is the closest thing we'll see in a while, other than unless Shane does it again, which he very well may, to a wire-to-wire, late every lap kind of race at least a road course. It'll probably happen again at Bristol or something. But yeah, I don't know. 10 out of 10, no notes. Shane put belt to ass once again, and it's clear that what's funny to me is he was so good before, and we were all, gawking over it, how great he was at this already. And clearly he was still not totally comfortable with it because he's found another gear, which is just wild to me. I don't know. I don't know how much more he has to gain. Maybe even more. These races are going to start to get boring here in a little bit, and I'm fine with that. The Cup field is clearly going to have to figure something out because they are getting their asses waxed every week. Every week we go to a road course. Obviously, this has caused a stir amongst the fan base to some extent. And is Shane rightfully in the playoffs? If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you'll know that my disdain for the playoffs is very large. I hate them. I hate the playoffs with a passion. I hate winning you're in. Yeah, I mean, it's dumb that he is going to have a chance to win a championship, I think. Will he win the championship? No, obviously. And that's where the issue lies in my eyes. Obviously, rightfully, with the rules, yes. Rightfully, he's in the playoffs. Josh Berry has about as many top 10s on an oval this season as Shane has. So if you really want to dig in, we've already got someone else who's close to being in the same category. Last year we had Harrison Burton, who was 34th in points, did nothing all year, won Daytona. I mean, Chase Briscoe himself, obviously he was driving for a fledgling Stewart Haas Racing in that season, so not really his fault, but they were 25th, I think, in points. They were way back there. Won at Darlington the last week before and got in. So again, this is nothing new. It's, again, like I've also said this before. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Whether we like it or not, this is the way it was intended to be. And I don't know, step up. you're gonna have to step up your game. Obviously, do I think they should change it? Yes, I do. I do think they should change it. Would that diminish anything that Shane is doing? I still don't think so. I really don't. I know we only had 2 a year back then, but Juan Pablo Montoya only ever won 2 of these races. Obviously, he was coming from open wheel, so it is a little bit different, and he could have won a Brickyard. He could have won several races. Again, nothing against Juan Pablo Montoya. Marcos Ambrose, again, if the cars were more like they are now, I think would have done more similarly, and the schedule would have done more similarly to what Shane is doing currently. But again, he only won twice. He never won Sonoma. He was the best car at Sonoma one year, but he kind of blew it. Unfortunately, but yeah, he only won 2 races, and I think he ran maybe 12. So if you want to look at it by just sheer batting average, Shane is killing it. Just absolutely killing it. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun to continue reading comments from dumb Americans who suddenly have an issue with the playoffs and hate road course racing, and 6 is too many. We're an oval series and blah, 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 blah. I personally prefer a NASCAR where it's not a specialist series in any way. We have four distinct types of racetracks. Unfortunately, they're all on pavement currently. I liked it a lot better when there was a dirt race in there. But, oh well, I seem to be in the minority on that one, so that's okay. Yeah, that's about all I got for this one. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more probably Shane Dan Gisbergen content. We'll get back around on the late model Cars Tour content at some point. Probably get around on the IndyCar content at some point. I don't know. No one watches the IndyCar content, so I'm not sure how much I care. But yeah, be sure to like if you did, and I'll see you next time.